Yes, thank you, thank you. My name is Jackie. Pronouns are she, her, and I am the proud co-founder of Wonderpuff, a vegan organic kind candy company located in Durham, North Carolina. I am a my son is in Taurus, and I'm a rising Aries. And for my hobbies, if I'm not working, I love to rest. That's the Taurus in me. I really love to rest, and I love to have my like the company around me. They also have to be resting. So like if we're hanging out, we're kicking back and like eating snacks and resting with a blanket, and I just like to lay down. That's just me.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Well, you guys, welcome to another episode. We are blessed to have Jackie here with us today, and we're going to dive into this wonderful world that she is in of Wonderpuff and how she got
Mm.
started with her business. Um, you are in Durham, North Carolina. Um, will you kind of just lay out for us how you got started with Wonderpuff? When, what was the idea behind it?
Yes. Well, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. A lot of us, we know what we want to do very early on in life. So many of us, especially as children, that I mean, yes, our brains start developing and whatnot, but we also find our passion at a really, really young age. And at a young age, my siblings wanted to be in the arts or be in the cooking world, and I always knew that I wanted to be in the arts or be in the entrepreneurial world. And as I got older, I started to learn more about small businesses and small businesses in the community. And I was introduced to a cotton candy machine a long time ago, and it was really cute and fun. And I did some research and learning about innovative ways to be in the catering world, and cotton candy was definitely like up there. Cotton candy is actually super popular worldwide, and I'm super honored to make it my life's work. Like my life's work is in sugar.
I love that. And I mean, can we just the products that you have these Wonder Puff tubs, you have tote bags, and then you have the Wonder Bombs. Like
Yes.
the flavors that you have mango, raspberry mojito. My favorite when I was looking through this was the campfire s'more. How
Yes.
do you have a favorite?
I do have a favorite, and those, shout out to my partner, who's also my husband. He is the sugar curator, so I'm the face, but he's the brain surgeon behind our flavors. And Campfire S'more was all his idea. It's very unique. It has marshmallow and actual like smoke extract to
Yeah,
give like the smokiness of an actual s'more.
yeah,
And at first I was apprehensive because I'm just like, no one's gonna like it. The
right.
smoke, this, because if you're a tourist, then you we're very stubborn. And so we played around and gave it a try, and the people love it. It's
Yeah.
our one of our top flavors. My favorite flavor is probably coconut.
Okay.
It was once our original flavors. We no longer have it. We actually have a coconut with pineapple, which is amazing. We'll be bringing that back during the summertime, and that's my favorite flavor.
That is very summertime too. If you think of
It
like how to
is
describe summer, that is it right there, just coconut and pineapple.
all day, definitely.
Yes. I want to talk about your packaging as well, because when it's so unique, how did you guys come up
Mm.
with that?
Well, so because of the pandemic, everything that we did in the beginning, so in the beginning of the pandemic, we did everything online, like 99% of the world. And we needed to have our cotton candy, we were selling it so much in bulk that we needed to have tubs that could protect the cotton candy through traveling. So we use these really sturdy cylinder tubs. And for the Wonder Bombs, we use a soft plastic,
Yeah.
paper iridescent. So for us, it's all about how can we produce cotton candy in high volume, but also make it last long.
Yeah.
I'm really really excited because this year we are going to be redesigning our packaging once we get our store opening. Fingers crossed.
So when I was doing my research on you and Wonder Puff, I did see the storefront and the page y'all created to try to raise money for it. Can you give us a status update of the storefront?
Yes,
What's going?
yes, yes, yes. So we had in October, I think we did our Kickstarter for
Yeah.
20,000, and we surpassed our goal in 8 days, and that's because the people of the Triangle are phenomenal and special, and they're all about unity and highlighting small businesses, especially Black-owned businesses like ourselves. And so, because of the panini, um, Boxyard RTP is still under construction, and hopefully we will be opening in the summertime, God willing. So we're very excited about that.
I've heard so much about this area coming up and all
Yeah.
the different kinds of businesses that are going to be moving in there. I know
Mhm.
some other small and local businesses that have talked about it, and I'm so excited to see this area just because I mean the creativity that is going to live there is going to be incredible.
Yes, we feel the exact same way. The fact that our neighbors are going to be other local businesses, they're not, it's not going to be a corporate business. It's, because a lot of the times, especially now, unfortunately, so many wonderful, beautiful small businesses are shut down. And what happens is you have these big corporations with billions of dollars that can go ahead and take up space and build Chick-fil-A and Starbucks in every corner. And so it's so important for small businesses like ourselves to have a safe space to create and manufacture for the community, and box art is definitely that space, and we're so excited to be there, because you're right, it's going to bring, and so many people, the community it's going to be fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's just going to make such a really, really cool area to be in and just
Yes,
really make Durham really a really big hotspot um for to come to and to open a small and local business. I think it's really cool.
me too, I'm excited.
Where do you get you and your husband, where do you get your inspiration for your flavors?
Cotton candy is pretty basic. Like, when you think of cotton candy, you think of the fair or some major event, and it's mostly always all the time pink and blue.
Right.
And it could probably, maybe pink would be like a strawberry raspberry, and blue could be blue raspberry or something like that. And so we want to be super conscious, because like I said, the cotton candy world is growing, and people are finding it like it's accessible and it's easy and it's fun to create. But we try to be super intentional with the flavors that we make, for it to not only match our brand, but to just match who we are. For example, orange cardamom is, an ode to our culture.
Yeah.
We're both Caribbean people, and I come from an Indian background on my mother's side, and so cardamom is what we always eat in our Caribbean cuisine. And so I wanted to implement that, and that's also a top bestseller, and we've been selling her for such a long time. So that's pretty awesome. And honestly, it's my husband, the man behind the sugar. He's always pulling things, and because I can also be basic, how sometimes when you're not necessarily in a creative funk, but like in the beginning of your creative process, it's very hard, kind of like looking at a Google Doc and
Yeah.
you're getting ready to write a pitch, and you're like, well, where the heck do I start? And so oftentimes I'm the blank Google Doc, and my husband, he would just sit there, but he's also a musician, artist. So it's easy for him to tap into that creativity more than me. And it works out really great.
Is that his official title, the man behind all the flavors and all the
Oh, yes, and I will continue to say that from here to
Yeah,
the moon. But we both rather have my face on it everywhere. He's just like, I don't need to be the face of anything.
I love it. I love it. A good partnership. Good
That's
partnership
right.
there.
That's right.
The Wonderpuff Instagram is so unique and very colorful and very bright. How did you guys
Mhm.
come up with, okay, that's who we're gonna be. That's who what Wonderpuff is gonna look like?
Yes, that's a beautiful question, Danielle. Thank you. When we first started Wonderpuff, we started very on a very small and tight budget. A lot of small businesses, when we start out, a lot of us are trying to create generational wealth,
Right.
which means, a lot of us do not have money, and we're starting from scratch. And, you know, there is this pressure that we give ourselves, especially because of social media. I feel like we as millennials and probably Gen Zs, we give ourselves pressure to always like be 100%, and often we can't financially afford that.
Yeah.
And so when starting Wonderpuff, everything, I don't like to say the word low budget, but everything was on an extreme tight budget. And so back in 2010, 2011, when Tumblr and SoundCloud and
Yeah.
Pinterest was all the wave, I was in there. Like I was finding new music on SoundCloud 3 a.m. while scrolling on dozens and dozens of different Tumblrs. And so like I'm all about that. I love anything that has to do with pleasing our eyes and, visual. I would call it visual pleasure, because if you look at our Instagram account, it's not all just product shoots.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier when I was speaking about starting on a tight budget. We didn't have expensive cameras. Oftentimes our phone would freeze when taking photos. So I found things online that spoke to me that I know would speak to other people. And it's cotton candy. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I mean, that is cotton candy. That's the phrase. Is cotton candy is fun. So why not make it fun on Instagram?
That's right. That's
Yeah,
the place where you're supposed to turn up.
absolutely. Absolutely it is. On your Instagram too, in the month of February, you started doing these sweet talk on your IGTV and you did a bunch of episodes during Black History Month. Can you
Mhm.
talk to me a little bit about this? Because you use that Wonderpuff platform as a way to spread just massive good vibes, but you were also using it to uplift businesses and, Black women owned businesses. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's like, you're a part of I wouldn't necessarily call it like the podcast world,
Yeah.
but, video series, whatever term the kids call it. But I've just noticed in our community,
Yeah.
we're so focused on driving sales and, gaining a following and trying to cultivate,
Yeah.
a capital in our business, but that we often forget the people that are operating.
Yeah.
Unless we post a photo of ourselves and share something really fruitful and whatnot. But I wanted to highlight people I admire and I love and just give them space. It's just a really, honestly, it's just a small project that I do to celebrate people that I love and admire. Um, and so that's really cute and special. We don't do it for clout. We don't. When you love something, you do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
And we're human beings and we were created to love on each other. And I just love to celebrate people effortlessly. And I wanted to make makers and curated feel special and give them a safe space to just talk about themselves the same way you're doing right now.
Yeah, so many incredible conversations you were able to have. And I think it's so important. I love having like conversations like this and just learning things about people and hearing people's stories. I think it's so incredibly important. But it's also a way
It
for
is.
all of us to understand each other,
Mhm.
and to understand what each person is going through. So I'm such a big fan of people like yourself having these conversations, and just putting things out there into the world.
Yeah,
Others
I
to
feel this. I feel the same way, and we also need to normalize the conversations because, like I said, a lot of the time, social media creates this false facade that like, oh, look at us, we're successful and we're booming. Meanwhile, your kitchen's probably on fire and you need assistance and
Yeah.
you're probably may not be doing okay. And I'm all about that. I mean, we're living in a time where all of us are decolonizing our minds and we're unlearning traditions that we realize don't really serve us. And so I'm all about creating space that is beautiful and fun, but like, hey, if we're hurting, let's talk about it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I think community is such a big thing and
Yeah.
big part of all of this. And my next question that we touched on a little bit is, as a small business and local business, we're in such a really cool community to be in, because I think that especially over during the pandemic, a lot of people started creating their own businesses and we saw such an influx of things. But for you, what has it been like to be in this small and local business community?
Well, for one thing, I feel space.
Yeah.
We often feel we live in a society, in a Western culture that enforces us that competition, that we have to compete,
Yeah.
whether we're women or small business owners or students or whatever. There is this competition culture that really doesn't make any sense, and I really do appreciate this time that we are living as human beings. Like I said, we're, if it doesn't serve us, we're letting it go. And one thing that I truly, truly, truly am obsessed with in the triangle from Raleigh to Chapel to Raleigh and beyond is that there is space for everyone. And a lot of people tend to forget that. And because they're afraid that, like, if you get a piece of the pie, I'm going to go hungry. And it's just, that is an utter lie. And the triangle definitely pays homage to small businesses succeeding and how we can create generational wealth and share it with each other. And that's something that's really beautiful, because I truly believe that if I was to start Wonderpuff in any other state or any other city, I don't think I would be as successful as I am here in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said to you before we start, I love this city and the people here are fantastic and all the different activities and things that happen here are, I mean, such a massive, huge community to be a part
It
of.
is. It is. But that also doesn't mean that everything is perfect.
Right, right.
And we need to hold people accountable if they're not really doing their part.
Yeah.
But also, that's what community is for. Community is for bringing people in
Yeah.
and creating a safe space to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And I welcome that all the time, for myself and for the people around me.
I love that. I love that. Um, and I think I want to get your perspective, um, because as a small business owner, when you have other people come to you and ask you for advice or things like that about starting their own business, what is one thing you really tell them to think about or just to remember as they're starting this?
Well, I come from a household, a family of entrepreneurs, and also a family who has experienced lots of failed businesses, and they don't ever seem to give up, which is a beautiful thing. But also, it's just like, at this point in time, if it's not working,
Yeah.
find something that is. But I always tell folks to, you have to genuinely love what you do. I mean, obviously, when starting a small business, it is to really be your own boss,
Yep.
and it's to create your own wealth, and create a capital and whatnot. And I celebrate that because, at the end of the day, I'm all about, if I can be honest, I'm all about abolishing capitalism and recreating capitalism and what that looks like for the people. Because as you can clearly see with this panini, capitalism is thriving when so many people are experiencing hardships. And with that being said, I feel like if you're going to create something, uh, I would not do it for, I would not necessarily do it for the capital,
Right.
also known as money, but doing something that you love. Because when you do something that you love, whether it's a small business or a project, or you're just like, damn, I always wanted to dance and I'm over 25 or I'm over 30, my knees don't work. We've been home for a year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can dance anymore. Just doing something that gives you joy and that fills your soul is what's going to bring you success, whether it's a small business or a project. So I would definitely, it's something that feeds your soul. And Wonderpuff definitely feeds my soul. I always tell people that I created Wonderpuff to strengthen my mental health. I was really sad, very, very sad. I was dealing with some really hardship mentally, and my partner was just like, "This is time. It's time to bring Wonderpuff into reality, and creating joy and a safe space to celebrate people is what helped healed me. And the love that I got from the community was an opportunity to learn how to give that love to myself. And so I really welcome all of that.
That's beautiful, Jackie. That is truly, truly beautiful. And let me tell you, I am glad that out of that came Wonder Puff, because it's such an incredible thing you guys have created. It really is.
I appreciate you, Danielle. Thank you.
Yeah. I want everybody to know what is the best way to find Wonder Puff, to get their own cotton candy from you guys. Where's the easiest place to find you?
Oh yeah, if you have a smartphone with social media on it, if you're on Facebook or Instagram or even Twitter, where we try to, and oh my God, even TikTok. I'm trying to jump on that bandwagon. The kids are
I love
slaying.
it.
Like, oh my God, my father who loves TikTok, he has like
Yes.
over 200 TikTok videos. And I'm like, Dad, how do you do it? This is
I
shameful. But the best way to go to our online shop is
okay.
ohwonderpuff.com, ohwonderpuff.com. And we ship nationwide, and it's free shipping after $25. And we offer a lot of beautiful stuff on our website. So that's how your supporters can support us.
Yeah. And I love the outside of the cotton candy, you have the love jar with
Yes.
just a glittery jar of affirmations. Like, how
Yep.
beautiful of something to sell. Like something like you wouldn't think, but like in a time right now, that is probably such something that everybody, you wake up in the morning, you pull one out, and that's
That's right.
your day.
Yes, yes. I love the love jar. The love jar was also something that we created for our mental health. I believe in affirmations, I believe in prayer, I believe in just however you can get yourself spiritually aligned and relaxed as in being human in this world. I welcome all of it, but for me it's affirmation. Seeing words of love definitely helps us heal and be better in this world. So I put it into our shop, and we've got such a great response, and it's very intentional. We also love to sage it before we ship it out, and just pour love into it so it can heal some people, because everyone has a story, both beautiful and not so beautiful, and I'm all about just loving on our not so beautiful parts a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. One thing I want to end this with, and something I ask everybody, is just purely what inspires you?
Yes, what inspires me is um the sun.
Yeah.
The sun. I grew up in South Florida. I'm a beach baby.
Yeah.
It when it rains it pours, but when it shines it shines. And the sun is my brightest light, and it reminds me to just stay in my light and hold on to it, even during times where I feel like I have no light in me. The sun and the humanity. You know, we lost a lot of people this past year, and I've always been, I've always been, I've always been a believer of respecting our ancestors and loving those we lost.
Yeah.
So, anytime I'm at my happiest, you know, I send them love,
Yeah.
wherever they may be. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I love hearing from another beach baby. I grew up on the beach, so I have so much respect
Yes.
for that.
Oh, I miss those waves, girl.
Yes, yes, I'm headed there for basically the whole summer, for just being by the beach and working from there. And
Yes. As you should.
yes,
As you should. Yes. A
uh,
lot of us are going to be in the beach, and hopefully we'll all be vaccinated too so we can get into the water together.
crossing my fingers and saying
Yes.
prayers for that one, definitely.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right, y'all. All of Jackie's stuff is going to be linked down below. So you guys can go find Wonder Puff. You can go get yourself some of this amazing cotton candy. But you guys, Jackie, thank you so much for being on here and just spreading your love and all the goodness.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I am so glad that we finally got to do this and talk. Uh,
Me too.
and
I appreciate you, Danielle.
yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you so much, Jackie. And I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.
Yes.